So should you have an air compressor? The answer is yes, you should have an air compressor. There's a variety of different reasons why you might want an air compressor in your vehicle at all times. First off, you might be losing a little bit of pressure here and there due to a small leak in one of your tires. You might need to occasionally top off those tires until you can get them repaired. Second is, as the seasons change and the temperature gets colder, air contracts and you might be losing some pressure in your tires. It's very easy to use a small air compressor to top off those tires as the seasons and temperatures change. Sometimes even during extreme temperature changes during the day, you might get fluctuations in your tire pressure. Another reason is, what if you get a puncture in your tire? You can repair that small puncture with a kit like the AirB sealing kit. I've used this before and it worked really well to repair a puncture that I had in a tire due to a key that I ran over in a parking lot. It's surprising, but it does seal a large hole and it allows you to get back on the road without changing the entire tire. You might need an air compressor to reinflate a tire after a larger puncture. And then the last reason you might need an air compressor is if you do go on some extreme terrain, you might actually have to lower the air pressure in your tires to improve traction. And the question is, does that actually improve traction? And the answer is yes. Decreasing your tire pressure can dramatically increase your traction, especially on rocky and loose terrain, snow and sand. Decreasing your tire pressure down to anywhere from 15 to 20 to 25, even that can increase your traction. So let's say you run your tires normally at 30 to 33 psi on the highway. Generally, decreasing your tire pressure by about 10 will increase your traction. You can easily deflate your tires down to that, but if you're looking to refill your tires once you go back on the highway, which you definitely want to do so you do not cause your tires to overheat, you don't cause the bead to separate from the rim. In order to reinflate your tires, you can spend a long time if you have the wrong air compressor to reinflate those tires. So there's multiple different types of air compressors that are out there. You can have an onboard air compressor that is directly hardwired into your vehicle. That would be probably the ideal setup in more of the extreme situations because it does allow you for very rapid reinflation of all four tires. You can even incorporate air lockers if you want. And then it's always already in your vehicle. You don't have to worry about, did I pack it or not? It's just hardwired in there. You can also be certain that it is wired correctly with the appropriate gauge wire and can handle the large amp draw. The downside is that those are very expensive and typically require some sort of experience or expertise in wiring it up completely yourself, or you can have it professionally installed. All those can add up to be quite a bit of cost. The second air compressor type are portable air compressors, and that's the kind that I have here. The advantage of portable air compressors is that they are portable. There's no installation cost. They are much more affordable, and you can take them from vehicle to vehicle depending on, which vehicle might need that air compressor at that time. There's a couple of different types of portable air compressors. You can have larger air compressors like this one. This is the Smittybilt air compressor. Now this one connects directly to the battery, and that allows for large gauge wiring to handle the high amp draw, as opposed to some of the smaller air compressors that plug into like the 12-volt cigarette lighter. Some of that wiring can't necessarily handle a large amp draw, and so if you're going to get a larger air compressor, get one that clamps directly to the battery. The Smittybilt one here, I really like it because it is not super heavy, it's not super bulky, and it's very, very affordable, and it's heavy duty. Other portable air compressors might be smaller battery handheld ones like this. Now this is a cheaper one that I got off of Amazon, but it actually works really pretty well, especially for smaller vehicles, smaller cars, or especially if you're going to just top off tires here and there for a few PSI. Now, if you're going to go from, a relatively deflated truck tire and you're re-inflating it, you don't want to use something like this because it's going to burn out the motor and burn out the battery. But this is very good for inflating soccer balls, basketballs, things like that around the house relatively easily and quickly. I typically will have multiple air compressors, partially because they are used for different purposes, but also partially for backup. If one happens to fail, I'm not left completely without something. Even this, I could make this work by inflating small amounts at a time and charging it and eventually getting a tire inflated. Now, if you're only going to get one air compressor, I'd probably recommend one that is somewhere in between these two. So a little bit better quality than this one, but maybe not as big and bulky as this one. One that maybe kids can use without having to clamp it to a battery. One that has maybe dual pumps instead of just a single compressor. So one like the Last Fit portable air compressor. Now that's going to be double the price of this one, but it's going to be less than the price of this one, and it'll still serve most of your needs. I'll put a link to a variety of these in the description below. But in general, you really should have multiple air compressors. Now, measuring the PSI in each tire, this does have a digital readout where you can read the PSI, and that's pretty accurate down to the 10th of a PSI. This one comes with a gauge that is also pretty accurate, but I also have multiple tire gauges in the vehicle, which are easy to reach, easy to grab. In fact, this tire seal kit comes with a tire gauge like this. These are super cheap, super affordable. You can have these around the vehicle. So in summary, it's important to have an air compressor in your vehicle. If you have multiple air compressors, it provides some sort of backup, and it also allows for multiple compressors to be used for a variety of different purposes and different situations. Thanks a lot for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and share it with someone else who you think might be needing an air compressor, and subscribe if you haven't already so you can keep up on new videos as they come out. Let me know in the comments below, do you have an air compressor? And if so, which one do you use? Which one do you like? Thanks again for watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye.